our stock of the day, and in fact, to both Mark and Junbei referencing healthcare stocks, how much pressure they've been up to. So let's get into it with ResMed, out with its quarterly update there. As margins have almost tripled over the past quarter. The medical devices company seeing gross margins expand by 290 basis points to 62%. Third quarter revenue up 8% on a constant currency basis, reaching $1.4 billion. It says it has returned $262 million to shareholders through share repurchases and dividends. And for the past quarter, shareholders received 60-cent dividend per share. However, the share price coming off around 3.5% in today's trade. CFO Brett Sandercock also is retiring, and device growth there in the Americas are missing expectations. So that's obviously been a drag on the share price today. But overall, over the past year, in fact, it's down more than 20%. Junbei, do you see opportunity here to get in, given where it's fallen to, and has that been justified as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, look, it's. I think it looks good, and don't forget, don't worry about where the share price is today. It's actually a great result. Now, is it justified? It's probably half of it is because people worry about what the future look like with the GLP-1 and with the Philips coming back in the market in a couple quarters time or maybe 1 year's time. So there's a bit of things hanging over its longer term growth and prospects. I think the result itself looks really good. It's solid business. I think what seemed a little bit softer, which is the U.S. market, the hardware growth is a little bit slow, 6%, but it is a big number to grow at 6%. It's still really, really good number. I think I would place ResMed more in a whole territory because there just seems to be so much headwind that isn't easily being explained away for the next year or so. One is that you got GLP-1 now all moving into oral drugs. You've got Eli Lilly overnight talking about how successful it is, and then you've got most of them going on discounting, and then they all be included in some of those pharmacy benefit, the Medicare, Medicaid to start covering some of those. So the adoption will continue to lift if they're in the U.S. And that just placed a very negative sentiment for this company. At the same time, its big competitor Philips that was out of the market for so long and is now definitely coming back in the next 12 months. Again, that's going to weigh on the market. So whilst the company is trading on 19 times this year's earnings, growing double digit, I think it's very hard to put a strong buy on this, but it is a good solid business. It's a hold.
Okay, solid hold then for you, Mark. Would you agree? Do you see any opportunity? Do you want to get back in?
Yeah, look, I'd probably be a little bit more positive on it. But I'd say it's an accumulate. I don't think you need to be going and throwing the kitchen sink at it at this point. Just because there is a lot of uncertainty around it. But the GLP-1 thing, there's two different camps. It's either it's going to solve sleep apnea or it's going to raise awareness. So far, it's sort of seemed more from what I've seen, it's more of a demand funnel than a demand destroyer, really. So and the earnings was a really quality beat. 11% revenue growth, 21% non-GAAP EPS growth, and then that gross margins number up 290 basis points. So you're not paying extreme prices for this, and I think it's roughly at about a 21 times trailing earnings per PE. So I think the risk reward's probably in your favour. But from a technical standpoint, I think you can certainly wait because it's just dropping and continuing to drop. And the healthcare sector overall has been really tough. It feels like what materials were 18 months ago, and energy's been for the last couple of years until recently, where you can probably afford to wait for that turnaround story. And in terms of the sector sentiment and the buying coming in, but I'd probably just be dollar cost averaging in this. It is a quality business, and I'd probably back them to execute.
Well, there we go. Stock of the day, ResMed. That is a hold and an accumulate for the stock.